Something I don't know why, but I realized recently after looking through the beginning of a couple of my videos that most of them start with me walking down these stairs. So we're going to do that. Look at that, just like normal. Oh. Now, today, as I'm sure you saw by the thumbnail, I'm going to be doing a little bit of work continuing that area. And as you also probably saw from the thumbnail, that this episode is going to be one of my favorite to do. And the reason for that is super simple, actually. Because what we're going to do this episode is going to be honestly pretty simple. It's not going to be super in-depth. It's not going to be super difficult. It's going to be very easy to do. And as like a nice added bonus, it makes a drastic change. So for minimal effort, minimal work, I make an enormous change to this entire area. And I'm so excited because doing something that simple after figuring out how to do all of that and then doing it was it's going to be nice. I also started moving some more of the animals out of the main area of the barn and into the pasture because I felt like this was a little empty and that was a little overcrowded. I've got the horses, the donkeys, and most of the cows. I have not removed all of the cows yet because I feel like if it was just the pigs, that might look a little weird. I don't know. Either way, first things first, what I got to do is move this. I am moving it to here because I counted from that scaffolding and that end post there, 8 in each direction, and that centers it here. I chose this because this is kind of the end of where the farmland is going to be at the very top. It might come out a little bit more, but I think it'll be okay. Also, that means I will really not have to move this a whole lot at all. So, the dirt path can stay basically where it is. Like I said, minimal effort. That is the theme for this episode. Ooh, I will have to move this. Might go ahead and do that. Actually, I would like this to be out here still because I like being able to look at it. Okay. Now let's get to moving this. I am missing a single shelf? Yes. Interesting. Okay. And now the finishing touch that I never got to last time. Oh yeah, okay. Well, that was not actually too bad. Which was kind of the point. I kind of expected that. I might move this directly in front of the gate. I think that might be the way to go. Well, no, I'm going to want to do the road, which is going to be a little bit wider than I originally thought. So maybe we'll put it right next to it. Do I want to do the path now, or do I want to do... You know what? Let's do the path first. That's going to be the biggest time sink of this whole thing. And then we will do the actual fields. So let's go into... I think I've got a creative world where I've got path designs. So let's go in there and take a look at those. All right. Now, these are actually from a video that I made about the path designs that I like to use. And I'm kind of trying to figure out... Obviously, it's going to be one of these two, but I don't know which one. In case this isn't clear, this was an idea I had for, like, designing roads for the various areas of a build. So this would be, like, for the nicer area, and then, you know, the sort of main streets, but, you know, they're not the best maintained. And then you've got the full-on, like, you know, potholes and falling apart and, you know, stones all over the place going into dirt road. And then we've got dirt road going into... I think originally I had this idea of like a wagon trail, like a well-used but not exactly maintained forest road sort of area. So let's see. I really do like the color of the dirt and not podzol. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the rooted dirt, the packed mud, the dripstone, the coarse dirt, and the jungle wood. I really do like that. That feels significantly better, but I don't know. The path with the oak would be the easiest to do, so maybe I will give that a try first. And if it doesn't end up looking right, then I can go back through and do it with the coarse dirt and the dripstone and all that. I think that's what I'll do. Could I throw anything else in here? Birch is probably too bright. That's not bad, but it is definitely a little brighter than I would like. I think that would be a lot better in this area. Yeah, too yellow. I might be able to do a terracotta. I don't really think I want to do a terracotta, but I think I could. So I think that would actually end up just being variants of oak and the path blocks, so that should be pretty easy to do. Okay, I think we will try that. So I started trying to widen the path because I figured having, a 4 wide path for a gate that is 7 wide kind of doesn't make sense, actually. So what I was doing is just counting out to the very most open that the gate could be, as if the entire thing was just flooding through, something like that. And I don't dislike it. I don't dislike the size especially. But what I think I'm going to do instead is, rather than have the entire thing 7 wide, we will come through and say that, it's not like you're going to ride a tractor right here, So I don't think I need to worry about being all the way on the edge. I think maybe we will go from here and here to there. So instead, the path will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. Okay, I feel like that's going to be a better medium ground between 3 and 7. So I am going to widen my path on one side, make it a little more narrow in other parts, and I will get going. Well, I have gotten quite a bit of progress on this road here, and I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan. It's not working for me, and I'm not entirely sure what part of it isn't working, so what I'm gonna do is start by removing the bits that I think don't work the most. So if we look at it from above, firstly, there are multiple things that just aren't doing it. I think the first thing I need to remove is the sort of noise on the edge of the road and go from there. So basically, I'm going to be going through and removing the aspects that I think are the most wrong, I guess. I'm just going to go for the really obvious ones. Unfortunately, I've kind of ruined the road itself because of this. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to reshape it myself again, but it's kind of my own fault that it's going to have to be done, so no one to blame but myself. That's fine. Okay. I haven't gone back and removed the grass blocks I put into the path, but I can tell right now that it's better, but still not good. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull up the rest of the wood that I put down. Before I do that, maybe, last-ditch effort to save this thing, maybe I will just pull up the jungle wood. Because I like the color addition, but it's a little much. It's very busy. So maybe we will do that first and see what happens from there. I kind of have a feeling, spoiler alert, I'm going to build a new path. I'm just going to build a new path. We'll see what happens though, but I'm building a new path. Well, I made a decision, and I don't know. It feels like a choice for sure. We will see if it was the right decision. Do I not have any mud? I do not. I have yet to even find a mangrove swamp, so that might be kind of hard to do. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I took the path back to complete basic, just path, and then realized that considering this is going to be a farm with, fields, I'm probably not going to have grass in the area where there's going to be, actual fields and stuff. So I went ahead and converted it all to just regular dirt. And had to go under here a little bit every once in a while and clear up some of that problem, because there were some spots where it was definitely too close and growing up onto the surface, which I had to stop. So what I'm thinking now is, as a whole, I don't dislike the path blocks themselves, but if we're already going to be mostly dirt, maybe we can go the packed mud sort of direction? But that means I will have to get packed mud. So maybe I'll do that. One of the things I wanted to see, though, was regular terracotta is not terrible for the really, really dry sections. That is an idea. Okay. Really? I thought I fixed you. Why are you there? Well, I've gotten a lot more of the grass killed, and I had just enough wheat to make 4 stacks of packed mud bricks, or packed mud. Yeah. That should be enough, actually, for this whole path, but I'm not entirely sure, so what I actually might end up doing is setting up some of the wheat field now. One thing that I did, which was not fun, but kind of necessary, is I went through and either made all of this into, obviously, the tilled soil or packed path, the path blocks, so that I could then go in and place a single block so that it no longer shows, the underside of this hill, which was kind of a pain, but was, I think, going to be worth it in the long run. Let's kind of play around with the path blocking. Let's go to a section that's not going to be as hollow, so that should be, over here, probably. So what I think I'm probably going to do is, when we're going to have the field, it's going to be so you've got the path here, a couple blocks, and then field. So from here, I'm probably going to do a lot of coarse dirt. I might throw in some rooted dirt kind of around the field a little bit. And then when we get to the actual path itself, I'm trying to decide what I want that to be. So I've got packed mud, which next to the dirt looks pretty freaking nice. And then we've also got, I brought some terracotta just to see. That's definitely going to be too dark. Dark? I don't know if that's the right word. Red for sure. It's too red. But then I've also got the jungle wood, which I think is about the right texture and color. So maybe what I will do is define the path, get some of the wheat planted, and then come in and figure out what I want the path to actually look like. I really wanted the path to be done first so that you could have that sort of grand reveal of there being a path and then giant fields all of a sudden. But that's just not going to work out. So maybe I will get the path laid out as far as where I want it, which it basically already is. I fortunately did that work already. And I will start planting stuff. Let's get to hoeing, I think. Let's see. I have not nearly as many seeds as I would like, but that shouldn't be a problem. I should have a decent amount of bone meal. Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't know why I thought that I would be able to just yeah, I'm just making a path and some fields. So we'll be over quick. And lo and behold, I'm seriously over-engineering a field of wheat and a path to walk. I need to take off my sneaking pants. So that was an entire stack of seeds. And yeah, this is... oh my gosh, this is going to be a lot. Okay. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, or something like that. And that's all I got. Okay. Oh, wait. Is that my fortune hoe or my silk touch? That's the silk touch. Okay, that's not going to help me at all whatsoever. I need the fortune hoe. And to show you the difference between the two, in case you don't know this, I'm going to go ahead and bone meal an entire row that are both the same length. Alright, so they are both the exact same length. And for one of them, I'm going to use my Fortune Hoe, and the other one, I'm going to use my Silk Touch. Silk Touch Hoe. Need to make sure I replant this quick because since the ground is dry, it's actually not going to stay hydrated. Well, it's not hydrated to begin with. It's not going to stay tilled. So here I got 37 seeds extra and 24 wheat. Now, if we do the Fortune, as you can see, we have already surpassed that. So, using the Fortune Hoe versus the Silk Touch, same amount of wheat, obviously, but then we also got quite a bit extra seeds. So, if you didn't know, they do actually make a difference. I believe that works with using the Fortune pick and axe as well. So I am going to do that over and over and over again until probably I have almost a full shulker box of just wheat seeds, and I will get back to you. Why am I making this so much harder than it needs to be? I just wanted to plant a field. Well, I have made quite a bit of progress. Because, let's be honest, most of it is basically just planting fields. So I went ahead and did that. And laid out a little bit more of the path. And it's looking pretty sweet. So I have done a couple of things, obviously. Firstly, I went ahead and put some waterlogged slabs and stairs in the places I could where the torches are. That'll probably stay for the most part. We'll see. It doesn't reach the entire thing, but it reaches enough of it to really get the point across. And helps grow a lot of it up. I have had so many issues where I would come through and either not realize that I forgot that you have to not shift click when you're doing like a water bucket, and I would just have it like tumble all the way down the hill, which has been very fun. I also decided that I'm actually going to let some of the grass creep into this area. Originally I wasn't, and then when I got through, well, both of the wheat sections and was looking at the amount of just sort of brown, I was kind of not a fan and really think that it would help having a little bit of green sort of popping in here every once in a while. I also have been trying to figure out how I'm going to do the paths, and I really like the look of the packed mud. It looks so good. So I'm going to mix the packed mud with the coarse dirt and a little bit of the rooted dirt. Maybe we will throw in some of the jungle stuff, because that's about the same texture. I keep saying texture and I keep meaning color. So what I also did is surrounded all of the fields with a single layer of coarse dirt. Now over here, I can show you a little bit more of what I think I'm going to do. So it's got the, it's kind of like the river where, you know, mostly it's going to be the podzol and then come out a little bit and then the coarse dirt, whereas over here it's going to be mostly coarse dirt and then a little bit of the rooted dirt. I think that gives a nice little look there. And yeah, it's, I wish I looked at my statistics before doing all of this, but I have a feeling I have planted thousands of carrots, potatoes, and wheat at this point. It has been quite a bit. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the layout, actually. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do something in this section, like maybe bring these potatoes over and maybe wrap around to connect to this part of the potatoes, or if I want to go ahead and do the fourth, like, redheaded stepchild of all the food, and I could plant some of the, what are they called? The turnips, the parsnips, whatever they are, the turnips, I think. I could do that. Here is definitely going to be pumpkins and watermelons. That'll be fun. I really like the pumpkin and watermelon farms. But for right now, I really think just getting the roads down and then feathering the texture out a little bit more. Because, like, I don't need dirt. I don't need grass to come in here. I would, however, like it to be kind of like, look like it's kind of spreading in, but also being held back by, you know, the people doing the farm work, that kind of thing. But, oh, it looks so good. Every once in a while, I'll just be doing something, like when I was over here. I'm just like, man, this looks great. But yeah, this is going to be a lot more rooted. This is going to be a lot more packed mud than I originally thought. So fortunately, because I spilled the water down probably 3 or 4 times, I have enough to make the rest of the mud into packed mud. So I think I can do that in here, actually. That's 1 to 1, right? Yeah. That is going to help a lot, but I don't actually know if that's going to be enough, I'm going to be honest. So this section is actually like solid ground under here, so I can play around with it and not worry about having to like jump down 10 blocks to grab things that I drop. Okay, so let's say this is where the road actually goes. And do I want to do that? That is too light for sure. That is not better. Okay, so we know the stripped jungle logs are out. Let's maybe just do the regular jungle planks to see. That's pretty good, I'm going to be honest. Let's see, the rooted dirt I know is going to be a nice little texturing block. I know the coarse dirt is going to be used pretty heavily. Let's try the jungle stairs. Let's do one there. And maybe we'll do one there. Try to keep them spread out a little bit. What else? I could try the terracotta. I know it's not going to look good. That's just too much. So I think we will call that one. Let's do like that and that. That is pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's a full-blown road, but it feels like a very well-used path. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Okay. Nice. Part of the reason that I wanted the green to come in here is so that I can kind of separate just the road from the dirt itself, because a lot of this is going to be coarse and rooted dirt as well. So this way, it'll have a nice little... Oh, yeah. Then when I feather that in a little bit more, that's going to look nice. I'm doing a good job. It's important to tell yourself that every once in a while. Anyway, let me get this going, and I will, I'll get it going. So what I am kind of looking to do is add blotches. It's kind of weird because I'm trying to add blotches of like 3 or 4 different things, which isn't terribly weird, to be honest. It's mostly just a little different because this isn't the kind of texturing that I've been doing for the most part. Usually what I would do is come up with the, you know, the full system, like the entire road is packed mud, and then I would come in and do areas of the different dirts. But I'm trying not to do that. Oh, I never thought of how I want to do these. I'm okay with having to jump up, but I would love to have a block or 2 that I could use as like a step up. That would be really nice. But I don't know. I kind of only have packed mud brick and jungle wood slabs. So that's not great, but it is doable, I think. So I ended up running quite a bit low on the rooted dirt, so I found an azalea tree and have taken most of it. There's still, I think, plenty left. But it's actually not too far from the base. So if I just fly this way, it'll be coming into view here in a second. And just, oh, it's so good. I'm so happy with it. I like there's actually a different color between the 2 different kinds. That might have just been a weird visual thing now that I'm looking at it closer. No, they do look a little bit darker. Okay. So I have gone around every single border and extended a little bit more of the coarse dirt and the rooted dirt around. I haven't done up here because I'm considering bringing them either farther up the hill or reshaping the hill a little bit so that it's not quite as weird of a gap there. I don't terribly care for the very dry sections. So like I could go in and just figure out exactly how to space each of these platforms so that it covers every single piece of soil. I don't think I'm going to do that because walking around, it's not like a huge problem. And even when you're going for like a cool angle, I don't really mind. It's not a huge deal. So I'm going to leave it. That is one thing that does kind of get to me. I am really considering going through and getting all the stone out and replacing it with dirt so that it doesn't have that thing there. I'm not a huge fan of that. But for right now, I want to do the roads because I figured out how the roads are going to look. And I think we went over that a little bit earlier. And I've got all of the path blocks have been removed so that I basically just have to put down, it's basically where the roads are going to be. And then I just have to put the packed mud and then a little bit of that extra stuff in there. So yeah, I think this is coming along pretty nicely. Oh, it's looking so good. I am so glad that I decided to bring back the green into this section because otherwise it would have been so very brown, just the whole place. So that's a good thing that I added that back. The way to do this that I have found is to do the largest thing that's going to be the most amount of blocks used, and then immediately go to the thing that's going to be the smallest amount of blocks used. So for me, that's going to be either the jungle stairs or the rooted dirt. I have found that because once you get like the small accents in, I kind of think throwing in the rest of it is pretty easy. Okay, that feels pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to now come in and grab the jungle stairs, and I want the rooted dirt. I'm trying to imagine it's like a wheel tread, I guess, is sort of really indented in the ground, but I'm trying not to do it too often, or maybe like water running off the surface, I guess. So kind of infrequent. Let's go there, I guess. And then we come back through with a rooted dirt. Let me get the coarse dirt in now, which should be the last step on this, if I recall. Yeah, that's about it. And then once I do this, I will come back in and see if there are any spots that I feel like are too heavy in one direction or the other. All right, let's see. This feels pretty good, actually. Okay. I really like how in some sections, to me, it feels like you've got the very dry sections, and then the other parts where like it feels like the rain has sort of run the ground over it, you know? Yeah, it doesn't feel like too heavy in any direction. It feels pretty good. Okay. So I've got that very long path to do, that very short path to do, and I think that's it for the road. I will have to figure out if I want to do this for the step-ups. I would like to use them, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it having the brick texture there, but it kind of is what it is. I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but this is taking a little bit more than I expected it to be, which I think I kind of deserve for saying that it was going to be the easy part. So I don't know. Maybe it was simple in the way that it's just like, you know, it's not like most of it is difficult to do. It just takes a lot longer than I thought it would, which I guess, I mean, that's really on me. The end is literally in sight. And this is the end of the road. Oh, with 24 packed mud to spare. I need more jungle stairs. And now to fill all of this in with the coarse dirt and call the roads done. So as you can see, I've left this side entirely blank. And part of that is actually because I don't know if I want to put more crops here or do something else. So I've kind of just left that open for now. This section I know is going to be the pumpkin and melon farm, which is going to be its own episode entirely on its own. I love the design that I use for pumpkins and melons. It's just so good. It's not like a secret or anything. I mean, it's you make the pumpkins or the melons, and then you throw in the mangrove roots as the vines, and it looks so good. They're a little comically sized, I will admit. So, you know, they kind of give a slightly more fantasy melon farm. than like a real life melon farm, I would say. But, oh, it looks so good. I did it on the Bedrock server that we played on for a while there. And I fell in love with it the first time I did it. I was like, if I ever build one again, this is exactly what every other pumpkin and melon farm I ever build will look like. Moment of truth. Now, let me clear up this stuff, and we will take a little flyover. I don't think I have ever used that much rooted dirt in a build ever. Okay, let's get all the way up to the top and take a look from up there, survey our land. Welcome to the ranch. Oh, yes. Okay. I mean, I say it basically every time I finish a build, but it looks so good. What I want to do this. I think what I've been doing, especially up in the wheat fields, is when there's a part that's like right on the edge, I will do this and then put water in there. Till plant. And then we will go break that. And there. And water bucket. Okay. So I don't hate the normal step down of the terrain because I'm just kind of used to it. You know, it is Minecraft. So I think I might just leave it. I do think I want more packed mud on the sides, just sort of to denote that that's where the path goes. Yeah, that actually feels like that's telling me where the path is now. Okay. Oh, I cannot wait to update those maps that I've got. Oh, that's going to look so cool. Oh man, the path is so nice. I'm really happy with how the edges turned out. I was really on the edge of deciding whether or not to do them, but I decided to just go for it, and man, it really does make that look so much nicer. And yeah, that's basically just like, you know, doing a ring of coarse dirt around the side, bringing it out a little bit, throwing in some coarse dirt, or throwing in some rooted dirt. And man, it is so good. One more thing before we officially call this episode done. And this, I think, is going to be the real finishing touch. Unfortunately, it's not going to look as good as I'm expecting it to. Just because I know how Minecraft works, that's just how it is. Well, that is a problem. Please tell me I didn't just murder a cow or something. Okay, cool. It didn't quite get in there. Okay. So, what I'm going to do as a sort of final touch is after clearing out a little bit of my inventory, I'm going to build some scarecrows. So this one will need 2. We could maybe do 1 down here, 1 down there. So 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, that works. This feels about middle-ish. And then we're going to plant this guy right like that. And boom. Okay. Maybe we'll face him this way. Believe it or not, this is actually why I have been saving all of my leather armor I collected from killing zombies in my little thing. Then we'll go yellow pants and blue shirt. The one thing that I really envy of you Bedrock players is that you can actually pose the armor stands and put like swords and shields in their hands. I really wish I could do that, but unfortunately that is just not something that I can do. Okay, and then this one we'll put towards the bottom of this field. We'll say maybe around here. Such a little touch, but so nice. That renders a lot farther than I thought it would. So how far would I have to get before they disappear? Okay, I really thought that it was going to be a loading issue with having these guys in there, but that's quite the distance. Yeah, okay. Oh. Man, I love that little touch of having scarecrows in the fields. It's so good. It's so random, but it just feels so much, just a little bit better. Man, I am so excited. This area has come together so nicely. I probably bit off more than I should have been able to chew, but, you know, I managed to gulp it down, if we're continuing the chewing metaphor. Yeah, I really don't mind not having the slabs or the step up. I'm okay with that, actually. I want another tree somewhere. I kind of like the idea of having it in the center there, but that feels like a bad idea for the path. So maybe what I'll do is carve off a little bit more of one of the fields and then put it sort of like at the end of it. So like, let's say I want to do it, I could do it, actually here's a perfect spot. Yeah, just like right here, do a little tree hanging over into the path. Don't worry, eventually long tree will come down. Let's turn on the shaders. Ooh. Yeah, that's looking nice. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with the torch spam in this area. But that is a problem for next episode's me, I think. Let's get these maps updated, shall we? Look at us walking down our little path here. Oh, wow. That looks so much better than I expected it to, I'm going to be honest. Let's get these guys back up. Somehow, I think I actually made them fairly equal. Like, I'm sure one of them is definitely larger than the other. But overall, they feel like they're about the same. The wheat's probably significantly larger. There is that. And the sun setting over my new fields. Oh, I could not be happier with how this turned out. Oh, man. These next couple episodes, I think they're going to be good. I'm going to be honest. I think they're going to be really good. So I will say, thank you so much for watching. I have been Chuck Ross. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.